we've posed 2 questions to you asking you, like, what's the player experience like at Augusta? And twice you've used the word tunnels. And that is incredible.
Masters Week. We have an excellent show today. We've got KIZ for the first hour. He talks about playing in the Masters, all the expectations around the Masters. He gives phenomenal perspective on winning and what it does to you, and then going into the Masters, if it's firm versus when it's soft. So for Masters Week, which is the biggest week of the year, we've got a lot of great stuff, including a draft on the second half of the show. We draft our favorite Masters moments. All of it, gentlemen, is brought to you by Chevy, the Equinox, which is your do-it-all SUV. We love Chevy. They allow this to exist.
Yeah, absolutely. Back on the road, man. We're picking up some miles down in Georgia in our Chevys. We're getting down to Augusta on Sunday, driving up to Columbia and back to Augusta. So we got a lot of things going on down in the Georgia, South Carolina area. We'll be at our Chevrolets as we have been for years, and they've just been a huge supporter of the show, a huge partner. So thank you to Chevy for always being there for us, and the Equinox in particular, which we love to get in when we're on the road.
Absolutely. We're on the road like 200 something days of the year. We're always in Chevys. We try to get into the Equinox as much as we can. The active trim, the big touch screen, it puts all your music maps and tech front and center. Let's have an excellent show. I think people are going to love this one, and it's going to get you hyped up for the biggest golf week of the year. And it's all brought to you by the Chevy Equinox, which is your do-it-all, go-anywhere SUV. Foreplay, presented by Barstool Sports. Gentlemen, welcome to Masters Week 2026. Excellent time to be alive. We are going to go through the entire tournament, expectations. We're going to maybe, talk a little bit about picks. The weather forecast is looking pretty damn nice throughout the entire week. A little chilly even in the mornings, in the evenings, up in the 70s during the day. A lot of sunshine. So it's going to be a delightful week in Augusta, Georgia. But we made it. This is the, obviously I live in Arizona now, so it's always spring and summer. But having lived in New England for 15 years, the Masters tournament always is kind of the official ushering in of spring. Things are blooming, flowers, better weather. So we made it, gentlemen.
What a time, man. There's really nothing better. When you're in those dark, cold, dreary days of the winter, and it's just day after day of early darkness, and kids are sniffling and sneezing, and you're going from house to house, and everyone's getting sick. You always have in the back of your mind the Masters. That's that. You can picture the azaleas. You can picture Amen Corner. There's something in there in your subconscious that is telling you a better time is coming. That you just got to hold on, and we are here. We've made it. We're all still breathing. We're all still happy and healthy and alive, and that's always an incredible accomplishment if you think about it, right? It's a 2026 Masters. At one point, we were talking during the 2012 Masters, whatever it may have been, right? Like you're talking about things years ago. Now we're still here, fellas. We still get to enjoy the greatest thing that golf has to give to us, and I couldn't be more excited. We're going to be down there at Augusta. We're leaving on Sunday on a holy holiday. We're heading down to the Holy Land. Can't wait to get down there.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing. I was thinking about it earlier this morning. The Masters is every year, and that sounds like a dumb thing and an obvious thing to say, but they just give it to us every single year. It's not like the Olympics. It's not like the Ryder Cup. It's not like those things that just go away. Or the World Cup, where those big events where they're so big and there's such a magnitude to them that they're like, well, we got to space these things out. We can't give it to them every single year. The Masters, they just mainline it every single year. And for that, I'm grateful. Like the year COVID, when it was in November or October, whenever it was, that was strange. And there was even a chance where it wasn't going to happen. The Open Championship that year, they just said, we're not doing it. The Masters said, we're going to continue to do it because we know how much people love this tournament, how much they look forward to it.
Yeah, Brits, they took the damn insurance policy. They took the insurance policy that year. Remember that?
The insurance money, which is like, wow. But I woke up this morning grateful that this tournament is every single year, and we are here again, fellas. It's a good time to be alive.
Please make a quote card of Trent for social. The Masters is every year. That's the best. That's so true. That is breaking news.
It's true.
Breaking
so
news
good.
here on the
That got
Foreplay
me.
Pod.
That really got me.
KIZ, were you in the November Masters, right?
Yeah, man. It was the weirdest time ever because it was, half Bermuda, half overseed, like hit it in the rough, and you don't know if you're in obviously in the spring it's all rye overseed, but in November it was half rye, half Bermuda. Yeah, it was interesting. In that year DJ won, it was a hell of a leaderboard from what I remember.
Yeah.
If you pull up that leaderboard when they were on like 15, the top 12 is all just stars. So probably it worked out well for the Masters and Augusta National. But yeah, I'm jacked, man. I was at the golf course yesterday. We have our big member guest the weekend before that all the greats played in before they played the Masters, like Ben Hogan and Byron Nelson. We actually had a larger purse in our Calcutta than the Masters purse. So all the guys came to town early to play in our Calcutta to actually make some cash before they played the Augusta National. So that same tournament is still going on. It's this weekend at Palmetto Golf Club. So out there yesterday, feeling the buzz. That's when I really start to feel the Masters, and the town and Augusta is thriving with the azaleas in full bloom, the dogwoods in full bloom. I start to really feel it when they start posting pictures of the concession stand pricing, and we realize how amazing the Augusta National as a whole treats this amazing tournament, and people start posting pictures of outrageous amounts of merchandise from the shop and the crazy shit that they're buying over there that somehow Augusta National knows that these idiots will buy for outrageous amount of money. It's a fascinating business model.
Self-included. Dude, they got like quarter zips coming out of the roof in that thing. That operation in the merchandise center, it's not even a tent, it's a center. That operation in there, I've heard numbers now of like they're going to do 100 million at some point in merchandise sales in 7 days out of that thing. And I believe it, dude. They legitimately have conveyor belts of items coming out of the ceiling that they're replacing with. Like when we do our merchandise at the Phoenix Open, at the Players Championship, we have like Pilar and Quinn and Allison are like running in the back and grabbing more polos to put on the rack. They've got conveyor belts like you're at the airport, just bringing quarter zips and hats out from the roof like you wouldn't believe. So what an operation. You're 100% right. You start seeing the prices, pimento cheese sandwiches. It's one of those things, it reminds me always of Frankie's obsession and love with Disney. You start to feel the magic. You buy into the magic, all of it, every single piece of it. I think I kind of was posing this question, but is the Masters tournament consensus every one of ours favorite tournament that we have?
I'll vote for that. I don't know about.
It's to the point where it's almost not even fair to the other tournaments. Now KIZ can probably speak to a better place, like playing in all these tournaments. But as a viewer, just like it's no other tournament is really even close. Like everybody gets up for it. Everybody's watching it. Everybody knows about it. And yeah, there's a magic to it. Now I know for a long time there was the arguments about like they're not showing enough of it, and that was like a bit of a negative towards it. But even that works towards a positive where it's so majestic and it's like less is more. Where oh my gosh, we finally get to see it. Now the coverage, they've blown it out, which is great because it's this is the future. But for me, it's number one by a mile.
KIZ?
I think it's just the best sporting event ever. Like just across all sports, not just golf. Anyone that goes to it from any sport or any walk of life, the way you get treated, the way they handle everything throughout the total experience, and you don't feel like you're getting robbed everywhere you turn for something to do. Like I'm not paying $80 to park. I'm not, everywhere I look, somebody's looking for money. You can literally just go there if you have a ticket and enjoy the day and not spend an outrageous amount of money. I love the no cell phones because you actually have to talk to people and you have to like, hey, Trent, I want to see you at the Masters. I'm going to meet you at the scoreboard at 12 o'clock, right? Like that's back to old school. And I think that's one of the coolest things ever about it. And just a little inside info when we were on the merchandise thing is my wife always said the greatest perk about being a player in the Masters is if she wanted something from the merch tent, she walked in the pro shop and they sent a personal shopper with her to the merch tent where they didn't have to wait in lines. How cool is that?
Come on, man.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that. That's awesome. Yeah. They do.
She was like, it's amazing. Because I would plan 2 hours to go buy all these people's stuff that wanted stuff. And so I was walking through the pro shop and was like, yeah, I'm going to the merch tent. They're like, hold on, let me get so-and-so for you. And they walk us like under a tunnel and we pop out in the back of the merch tent. And she's like, what do you have on your list? I'll go get these 7 things. You get those 2 things and then we'll check out.
Oh, dude, what a dream that is. I've got a laundry list of stuff that I have to get. We're having Frankie boy's birthday party. Frankie mastered his first year, so it's Masters themed. And if you don't think that I was requested to get, I mean, I'm basically outfitting the entire party with Masters gear. So, I mean, I had to have a conversation with like my financial advisor in my bank before I go to Augusta. I'm like, you're going to see a price that's going to blow you away. Like I don't know what else to say. It's clothing, it's garment. I don't know what. I'm trying to get my hands on one of those little gnomes. It's been like 7 years of us going down to Augusta. I've never gotten my hand on a gnome. We're going on Tuesday this year. We have to give a shout out. So always my dream to be able to share experiences with my family. Obviously, Riggs talked highly about being able to bring his dad last year. We go all the time, and it's like it's the best feeling in the world. But just like anything else that we do, I always tell you guys, I always have that sense of just like guilt, I guess it is, where I'm not experiencing it with the people that either got me to where I'm at or the people that I really want to share these memories with. So obviously a dream would be to bring my father to the Masters. Was kind of grinding on it for the last week or two. It's not the easiest thing in the world. I'm texting kids, I'm texting everybody else. It's really hard to do, right? You can drop like an ungodly amount of money if you find yourself in the right, situation. But like it's, at that point, it's like putting too much pressure on the day too, right? It's like, I'm not going to spend like the most dollars I've ever spent on anything on this, where it's like, I don't even know if that's worth it. So was kind of grinding on finding a ticket. And thankfully, one of our great sponsors and partners, DraftKings, is really hooking us up this week with unbelievable experiences. Obviously, we're going to be on the DraftKings Sportsbook, but unbelievable experiences, which we'll get to, what we're doing on Wednesday. You want to talk about dreams for Frankie Borelli? Dave Grohl is playing at the Masters this year, and we're going to a Dave Grohl fucking acoustic set in some house in Georgia. I mean, you may never be able to get me out of that house again. So DraftKings is hooking it up. They ended up getting me an extra ticket, so I have my dad coming with, but we're flying down Sunday. He has Easter Sunday at Borelli's. He's got this whole thing going on, so he couldn't fly down Sunday. I'm like, oh, is he going to fly by himself? Our very own Trent Ryan has given me his ticket for my father-in-law, Don, to fly down with my dad on Monday. They're both going to the Masters for the first time with us on Tuesday. And it's just my dad, my father-in-law, both guys that are huge parts of my life in terms of the love of the game of golf. Don has been sitting on his couch. He's 70 years old. He's been sitting on his couch for 70 years, essentially, watching the Masters. He has his Masters Cup. He's never been there. I've brought him back things. Remember that time I bought him that Masters quarter zip? And he said he wouldn't wear it because he's never been to Augusta National.
Yep.
Well, goddamn, Donnie, pack that quarter zip because we're
what a day to wear it.
I can't wait to see these guys. I overheard him on FaceTime. He was on FaceTime with the family. I had left the room, but I was like listening in, and he said, yeah, these feet are finally going to touch that grass, man. These feet are finally going to touch that grass. So he might take his shoes off. I don't even know what that meant, but he might take his shoes off. He might feel the earth at Augusta National. But thank you to Trent. Thank you to DraftKings. Just like unbelievable stuff. We're still going to work on getting Trent in there because I feel unbelievably horrible that we're going down there. He's not doing it. But just a great friend, great moment that I'm going to be able to share there. And just couldn't. It really means a lot to me. So very, very excited.
That's fantastic. There's nothing Trent wants less than for you to have to force him to go. I think Trent's like, I'm going to sit.
No, I want to go, but I really do. I want to go, and it's obviously always a great opportunity when we get to go. But I texted Frankie a couple of days ago because I knew he was probably grinding over trying to get a ticket, and I was like, listen, man, I've been lucky enough to go 3-4 times, so it's like, and I know we're talking about a couple of guys who have never been, so I want people to have that experience a little. It's like an extension of Frankie. Frankie wants people in his life to have that experience. And I see that there are people around him who want to have that experience. And I've been lucky enough to have it. So I want to share that with somebody else. So of course he can have my ticket.
Amazing.
Like that, awesome. Getting to go with his dad and his father-in-law, I know that's going to mean a lot. So I was more than happy to give it up.
That's a great move, Trent. That's an all-class move out of you. I love it. I can't wait to get down there as well. Just to be part of the entire thing. DraftKings has been awesome. We're going to do a couple different things with them. We're doing some filming. We got a live show on tonight if people are listening to this, it's Tuesday night at Club Magnolia. It's sold out. It's always an awesome venue. There's like 100 people packed into a pretty small little room. So I'm sure you guys will hear all about that on Thursday. But just the best week of the year in golf. I very much agree with Trent. And Frankie just saying, like, there's really nothing even close, I guess, to the Masters.
Riggsy, actually, I wanted to bring up when I went on my rant. You guys, I may have brought this up a couple shows ago. You see that option A, option B thing? Did I bring this up on the show? Where they're basically saying you get 4 tournaments to choose from and you lose the other 4. It's been like going through golf DMs and group chats like crazy recently.
Okay, I did see this.
So Group A is the Players Championship, the Masters Tournament, the PGA Championship, and the President's Cup. Group B is the Phoenix Open, the U.S. Open, the Open Championship, and the Ryder Cup. Now, if you pick A, B's gone forever. Pick B, A is gone forever. This one is really hard to choose.
Yep, it is.
And we just got done saying the Masters is the greatest sporting event, right? But, like, you look at the other side, you're losing. Obviously, the Phoenix Open is incredible, right? Especially if you're there. But, like, just for golf fans and watching sport, you're losing the U.S. Open, the Open, and the Ryder Cup forever? Wow. What do you guys think?
My first instinct was obviously A, and now I'm 100% B.
If you choose A, you became a Thunderbird for nothing.
Yeah, it's like I can't have that on my record. This is a case where I would abandon my principle and just lie if I had to. Be like, no, I gotta be B. But I really do think, dude, it sucks because on any given year, you can get lucky if you're the U.S. Open or the British Open and have, I would say, a better tournament than the Masters. I think consistency-wise, it's Augusta, it's the Masters year in and year out. But there are years where you get the old course and you get Rory coming down the stretch at the 150th and whatnot.
Incredible.
And to lose that and the U.S. Open and the Ryder Cup and the Phoenix Open, I just can't do it. I gotta go B, man.
Kids, where do you fall on that?
I think it's impossible to guess. I mean, I would go A still, I think. I got to be A. But if you had the Ryder Cup in A instead of the President's Cup, I think it's A all day.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think the Ryder Cup is definitely the one.
It's like a perfect mix, though, the two options. But I'm going to the Masters, so A.
Kids, you're going to be on the call this year for the Masters tournament.
Yeah, how about that? I have no clue what I'm doing on that, by the way. Never done radio in my life. And I'm not even getting there until I go on the air. I'm going to be out of town until Friday, go on the air Saturday. And he said, well, at least come a little early so you can listen. I said, I don't know if I can do that. I got the kids by myself. I got a babysitter. Probably just be there right when I go on and we'll wing it. He's like, it is the Masters. I said, well, I've winged NBC this far. We'll just keep winging the Masters.
Now, are you on course reporting, or are you going to be in sort of like a booth looking at a monitor? Like, what's your actual role for the radio?
So they said we're in the bottom of the media center. We have like our booth in there.
Okay.
And then Sunday, when the leaders get to 14, supposedly they rush us out when they go to commercial from the media center to 18 green, and we're in a tower on 18 green for the last 5 holes.
Unreal.
Oh, so you're calling you're on the call. You're like the play-by-play radio guy. You're not just like,
I thought you were kind of going to be a joke.
Like as an on-course.
That's pretty real.
Holy smokes.
No, I'm the lead analyst for the last 4 hours on Sirius XM radio with Taylor Zarzor for the Masters.
Let's go, kid.
Wow.
Yeah, whatever that means.
I think it's pretty damn cool. I think there's a lot of people in their car on that weekend, like trying to tune into the Masters, like trying to figure out who's leading this thing. And you got Kevin Kisner talking sweet nothings into your ear, just whispering about the azaleas and the dogwoods.
Yeah, Dr. Steve will be driving around Missouri listening to KIZ for sure. That's great.
I asked him, I said, do I do anything different? They said, you act just like you do on NBC. Because just the host has to do way more because he has to really set it up because the people can't see it. And I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. So I'm still just telling you, like, this is jail over here left of the 10th green, and he's probably not going to get up and down, and then he chips it in. So I'll just sound stupid on radio.
Kiz probably thinks he's got the whole world duped. Like, he's like, I'm just going to say the stuff I always say, and you guys are just going to put me on these shows. Like, it's crazy. Like, Like this is easy for me. I don't have to do anything. Like I would be saying this stuff regardless of if I'm on a show or not. So it's like this is so easy. God, why do you guys keep giving me these jobs? Is it really that incredible? It's like, yeah, it is. That's how good you are at talking. It's unbelievable how natural it comes to you.
We'll find out, boys. We'll
Dude,
find out if Augusta. I don't know if I'm Augusta National worthy yet. They might be handing me my papers on Saturday. Quite a few preceding me have been told to walk, so won't be my. If I make it through the weekend, then we'll be good, right?
You can't say back nine. You said that a couple times the other day.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you. Is like we just had a Zoom the other day, and and not even on my radar yet because I haven't started thinking about the work. But like patrons, first nine, second nine, all the things you have to say there, or they're going to get frustrated with you. Like I'm going to have that taped on the wall in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to fuck that up for sure, man. I hate to tell you.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, because that's part of like what Frankie just said. The positive of you just talking the way that you do, people love that. But for them to like change, I listen, I understand it's Augusta National. It's been this way forever and people do get in trouble. But you're just going to talk about golf the way you talk about golf. And they're going to get mad about it. But it's like, it is what it is, man.
It is what it is, right? It is what it is. And,
it is what it is right.
Yeah, I don't know if this is like a lengthy position for me. So I don't know. I think it's a one-off because Mike Tirico's like doing NBA. So who knows, man? We'll figure it out. If y'all are texting, I hope I can take my phone. I don't even know if I can take my phone. But if y'all are texting me,
I think Media Center you can.
About? Yeah, I think so too.
I want to say you can. Gentlemen, I came up with a quick list. I was bored this morning and trying to prepare for the show. I came up with a quick list of it's a short list. There's only 4 people on it of players who I believe will win the Masters but haven't.
Fantastic.
That's a good list.
Are you saying this year or
no,
just in general?
In their careers. Like a person that a golfer that I just look at, and at some point during the tournament, they always are like showing a shot, and as they're setting up the shot, they're like, this is a guy who it feels like he's going to win a Masters at some point, but hasn't gotten it done yet. And my list is Justin Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that was my first
Xander
one.
Schauffele. Okay, Xander Schauffele.
Yep.
Our friend Ludd. And then the last one was a very hard one for me to throw on there because he didn't start with a great relationship with the Masters, the par 67 thing, but he's had phenomenal finishes as of late, is Bryson DeChambeau.
I think that's a good list. I put $500 on Ludd this morning to win the Masters. He's my official pick, and it's probably a recency bias. I mean, he's the latest professional golfer that I saw within 3 feet of me hitting a golf ball, and I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy that he's able to do that. So depending on who you put in front of me the week leading up to the Masters is probably who I'm going to pick. But he's also playing well. Obviously had the letdown at the Players, but I just watch him play, and I'm like, there's also a part of me that can I picture someone in a green jacket, like, when they put the jacket on and there's that whole moment. I can absolutely picture our guy Ludd up there. So he's my pick. So your list, at least that part of it, I agree with.
He's playing well right now too, as we're recording. We're recording this actually on Friday leading into the Masters weekend, and he's playing right now at the Valero. He's 3 under today, 8 under for the tournament through 2 days. So I mean, he's in 3rd place, looking pretty good.
Sounds like I'll be talking about him a lot this weekend, boys.
You will be. I hope you are, because Trent, you just mentioned you took him on the DraftKings Sportsbook to win the Masters tournament. I took him to win this week at the Valero, Texas.
Ooh.
Oh, so as this comes out, again, breaking down the fourth wall a little bit, we're recording this on Friday. It was a little weird putting on my full Masters outfit on Friday morning before tournament week, but I'm glad that I did. But I hope he wins this week and next week so that we all can be very, jolly and happy. If we want to go through real quick picks, or, get excited about players, there's a couple things that stuck out to me. Again, this is very early, so we'll have more. We'll tweet stuff out, whatever it might be, and we're going to be doing a lot of stuff with DraftKings, so I want to highlight some of this. But my Players Championship pick, Cam Young, hasn't played since he hasn't, appeared since the Players Championship, which is crazy town. I was, looking at that. I was like, hey, how's he done since that performance? But I did look. It's not just that he won the Players Championship, but Cam Young went tied for 7th, tied for 3rd, and then won at the Players. So, like, he's just been trending in that direction. It wasn't out of nowhere that he won that. He's plus 2,300 to win. He's like the 5th or 6th highest favorite. So I'm going to throw some on him to win. I think his game set's up there. And then one of the names from Frankie's list on the last show, who was the only player on that list that hadn't won the Masters, but was top 10 in, I think it was like 5th or 6th in all-time money. Justin Rose is plus 265 to finish inside the top 10. He lost in a playoff last year. He's lost in a playoff multiple times at the Masters. So those are two things that just stuck out to me right there, gentlemen.
Matt Fitzpatrick's a name that I always keep my eye on at the Masters. I could just see him wearing that damn jacket.
I like Fitzy. Fitzy's a good one. What were your odds on Ludd this week to win?
For the Valero, he was plus 1450. I think he was the favorite in the field, maybe the second favorite.
All right, Trent, what's he in the Masters?
Plus 2,000.
That's good. We could
I
go
feel good about
on a
that
PJ
number.
after you win that one, Trent.
That's right. I'll have a good amount. I mean, there's 5, 6, 7 names in front of him, which not shocking, but also like I do think he's playing as one of the best like guys in the world right now. So I feel very confident with that bet, honestly.
I just threw money on Matt Fitzpatrick to win the Masters.
Well, I can't bet on any of this, so but I will tell y'all some of my picks that are long shots if you want me to go that way.
Man, I just
let's
go. Let's go. I should have waited.
Because
what
was it? The Players preview you were on fire.
Yep.
Xander let me down. Riggs beat me on that one. How about a little Jordan Spieth green jacket revival?
Oh, come on. Give it to me. That would be awesome.
I mean, if you watch his game, he's been like in that 15 to 25 area all year. He's striping it. He's not making any putts, but he feels so comfortable on the Augusta greens that if that little flat stick gets hot and he's cocky enough, I just think he could be around.
Now that Rory has knocked that off his list, and obviously that was the big story from last year, I think Jordan Spieth making a run and potentially winning the Masters, like having that be a storyline on Sunday, would be the biggest storyline you could get. Like Scotty winning another one would be fine, Rahm winning one would be fine, like somebody winning it for the first time, great. But I think Spieth coming back and just like winning this event that 10 years ago it was like, oh my God, he's going to win 4 or 5 of these. And then, flash forward to the future and it just hasn't worked out that way. That would be maybe the most popular storyline you could get at the Masters this year.
And a stat for you, Jordan Spieth in 2026 is playing the par 3s under par. And when you go look at Augusta National, the par 3s are a pivotal moment in the round every time. You got 4 playing 250 yards. Then you go to 6 where guys make 2 to 5. And then you go to 12 where guys make 2 to 5. And then 16, if you're striping your irons, you can birdie to every pin. So to play the par 3s under par for the season is incredible. I don't know if y'all understand that stat, but that's absolutely
That's insanity.
Incredible. Insanity. And yesterday in San Antonio, he hit it to 3 feet on 7 and missed the putt to make another birdie on a par 3. Just one of my long shots. Like you were talking about Trent on Rory, though, if Rory's on his game, the tournament's over. Like now that he has won his green jacket, if he comes out firing like he was, he won't have those silly wedge shots he dumped in the creek in the bunker coming down the stretch on Sunday just because he's done it. So if he's off and running at Augusta, you can just go ahead and turn the TV off.
I just went Jordan Spieth top
and the
5.
radio.
No, keep the radio on. What are Spieth's odds, Frank?
Jordan Spieth, I just got him at top 5 for 5-1 plus 580, which is not bad to finish in the top 5.
Okay.
And then to win the damn thing, Jordan Spieth is at, where is this
He's
guy?
doing some scrolling over there.
Where is this guy?
Way
now?
down the
It
list.
must be way down there.
Right, I was gonna say it's like me trying to find my birth date on a website now. It's like
38-1. Yeah, plus 3,800.
That really is. You want to talk about being a millennial and getting old and what are the markers of getting old? when you got to
Oh.
absolutely grab that scroll on the year when you're signing up for something or doing whatever, and you just got to let that thing rip for a couple of seconds. That's when you know you're
We're
getting
like
old.
closer to the bottom than we are the top now. You know, it's like there's not.
Yeah.
It's
It's like
brutal.
I'm like grabbing that big Price is Right wheel and just going grabbing it down.
When you can flick it, Trent, like when you can flick it and let it do its thing, as opposed to like you always had to be pretty much in command of it because you weren't going that far. It was only just like your finger never left the screen. Now it's like you just let it go, and it turns into a blur for a quick second. It turns into a blur. It's not a good feeling.
You know the place. We talk about it a lot on this show. Everything can turn in a moment at Augusta. One swing, one hole, and the entire leaderboard shifts. That's what makes this week perfect for live betting. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top sportsbook for live betting, has action from the first tee shot to the final putt, so you can react in real time as the pressure builds and the board keeps moving. For new customers, for new sportsbook customers, pay attention. If you bet just $5 and your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Again, if you're new, bet $5. If your bet wins, bang, you get $300 in bonus bets instantly. We're also going to do a make the cut four-play parlay. We're going to get those odds out. They're either already out on social or we'll get them out. All those calculations are being run. But right now, you're going to hear us make our picks for who's going to make the cut at this tournament. Gentlemen, who would like to go first?
I'll rip one out there. My guy that I'm picking for the DraftKings make the cut parlay is going to be Jake Knapp at Augusta National. Jake Knapp has the lowest scoring average on the PGA Tour this year. Number one.
Come on.
69.031. He's ahead of Bridgman, Scheffler, Højgaard, Minwoo Lee, Colin Morikawa. The list goes on and on. You got Jake Knapp playing some good golf. His odds aren't. It's not like he's a favorite in this thing. I mean, I'm looking right now. He's 69-1 to win. He's only he's plus 415 for a top 10, plus 930 as we're reading right now. The weekend before, I know the odds are going to change as you're listening to this, but I think that's a pretty good solid pick. I think Jake Knapp's going to have a good week.
I'm going to go with Justin Thomas. He's a guy who we've, interesting year. He come back from an injury, but at some point in the show, Riggs put him on a list where he thinks this guy's going to win a Masters at some point. And I agree with that. And he's just too good of a player and too big of a name. And he's a guy who cares about this event and what it means and what it would mean to win it. I just think he's going to be motivated to play well. So I think making the cut is the bare minimum for him. So I think he's going to go out there, play well, and have a good showing.
My pick is Patrick Reed. Patrick Reed decided to leave LIV earlier this year. He's been playing some great golf. He's dominated over on the DP World Tour. He's won the Masters tournament before. He finished second or third, I think, last year. I'm going Patrick Reed. I believe we need one more from Mr. Ryan Richardson. Is that correct?
Yep.
Oh, be careful here because your pick at the Players was a disaster.
Disaster, man. You gotta tighten it up.
Between Waste Management and Players, I'm 0 for 2, but
you gotta tighten it up, Rich.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with New Jersey's own Chris Gotterup. It's his first Masters.
I love it.
He last year was his first Open, and he played well there. So I'm thinking his first Masters, he's gonna go out there and he's gonna play pretty well. So I'm going with Chris Gotterup.
Love it.
That is Knapp, JT, Patrick Reed, and Chris Gotterup. That is the four-play make the cut parlay on the DraftKings Sportsbook. Again, new customers, you bet $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the code FORE, that is our code FORE, to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. If you have ever stepped onto a baseball field, you know that smell. Fresh spring grass, leather, gloves, the whole ballpark vibe. Sport Clips is bringing that inspiration to the MVP haircut experience with new Playmaker scents. After your haircut, you'll get the legendary hot steam towel, now infused with scents like birchwood, spring grass, and new leather glove. We love Sport Clips. We love the app. I know that's a great feature for Mr. Trent Ryan.
Yeah, I do love the app. I was just at Sport Clips the other day. I had to get ready for the Masters. I got my one guard all over. I got a steam towel. They do the MVP experience. Yeah, and I use the app. You go on there, see when you can get there. Don't get there before because you won't have a chair. But you walk in right when you need to. They sit you down. They got sports on. day baseball's on now, which is great at a sport clubs. You're just sitting there watching a ball game, getting your haircut, getting the MVP experience. Sport clips, I've been using them forever. I'm a huge fan of them.
Yeah, I might be heading to one before we go to Augusta. My hair's all over the place right now. Got a full boat up there, so I got to go to a Sport Clips. They got day baseball on right now. That smell of leather, by the way, they always hit me with that in that read. Just that smell of leather. I love that baseball leather smell. God, brings me back to working in a baseball mitt, throwing it in the oven. God,
so good,
the best.
It's nice. Try the Playmaker Scents now before they're gone. Only at Sport Clips. Offer ends May 2nd, 2026. At participating locations only and where permitted by law. KIZ, I want to ask you from a player's perspective. We talked a little bit on the last show about the photos that came out from this new players center. I did a little bit more scrolling on that. Just a hilarious facility that they have built now. That's got everything you could possibly imagine. I saw it's got family, dinner and meal options, and it's got the weight room, and it's got cold plunges and the whole thing. We know it has the tournament practice facility, which I think the only other time it's ever used, you said, is during their member guest at Augusta. That was a couple weeks ago, but otherwise it's pretty much just for the Masters tournament and the players. How on another level is everything that the players and caddies get experience-wise compared to any other week on tour?
It's incredible. The only thing that I thought they were lacking in all the Masters I played is the locker room is by the clubhouse, which is near the first tee, the oak tree, and then the range and the caddy area is a golf cart ride that's pretty significant for a tour event. So if you have your balls and shoes and gloves and all that in your locker, and then you get to the range, and then you're like, oh, I forgot this, I got to go back. So it was a little bit of a logistical issue. Not that, that's being very asshole-ish. So I would keep a lot of my stuff for golf in Dewey's locker in the caddy house because it was adjacent to the range, which is where we spend most of our time. And they recognized that, I believe, the Augusta National, and boy, did they fix that problem. Now you drive your vehicle down under a tunnel under the driving range, and you take an elevator to your locker room from your car without ever seeing a human, outside public human, anywhere, and you have everything in God's creation at your disposal as soon as you get out of your car and out of your elevator, including, everything: sauna, steams, cold, hot, gym, dining. The daycare is now in that facility, so your children will be in that facility with, the babysitters while you're playing, and so it's a one-stop shop, man. You pull in your brand new Mercedes and you park underneath the driving range, and your whole family gets out and goes up in the elevator, and you can literally have your every wish at your disposal. And I don't know if you saw, but you can have lunch on the patio while you watch your fellow competitors hitting range balls.
We've posed 2 questions to you, asking you what's the player experience like at Augusta, and twice you've used the word tunnels, and that is incredible. How many tunnels are under that place? Those blueprints, it's like the Pentagon and Augusta National are the blueprints that I want to see. What is going on at these places? There's got to be so many tunnels under there that we just don't know about.
So many tunnels.
You look at it from the outside and you're like, it's a great golf course. It hosts the greatest tournament in the world, and it's beautiful. But there's just got to be so many tunnels, and I want to know how many there are.
Well, think about this, Trent. When you're on, let's say, 8 down there towards the bottom, 8T, 17 green, there's a huge concession stand right there. And in your 4 trips at Augusta, have you ever seen anyone driving the food to the concession stand to sell to you?
I sure haven't.
Not once. So how does how does that pimento cheese and that barbecue chip suddenly appear in that concession stand 2,000 yards from any civilization?
Tunnel.
Yeah, tunnel.
That's
man.
right.
Tunnel. And in fact, I think I asked the Sirius XM guys, I was like, hey, I just need to know where to park and how do I get in. I'm pretty sure, I can't even remember, I have to go back and look. It was like, yeah, you park here, and then we pick you up in a cart, and you just tunnel across Washington Road right to the media center, and then you take the elevator up to your booth.
Tunnel.
I was like,
it's crazy, man.
Okay.
Tunnel.
The only thing they got to
Tunnel
figure out
elevators.
for our guys like Dewey, because I remember this being a point of contention, was those jumpsuits they make those guys wear, especially for our big man out there. Those things are a little restrictive. They're hot. They got to throw some mesh in there, because every time we would see Dewey at the Masters, he'd have this look on his face like, like you got to be kidding me. Like greatest place on earth. He's so happy to be there, so thankful, ready to win a Masters, but he's just got this like anxiety look like, can't wait to get this thing off.
Good segue to the week, though. The weather's going to be like the best weather I've ever seen for Augusta National. I just looked it up. Like 75 is a high every day, 60, 55 in the mornings, sunshine, no rain after Sunday. The golf course is going to get spicy. Dewey's not going to be sweating as much. I mean, epic weather.
They're going to be able to get this place however they want it. They've got the sub air. They've got cooperating weather. Firm makes this place, KIZ, like it really is hard to explain unless people have been there how tiny the shelves are and the pockets are where they put the pins on certain greens, on almost all of the greens. And then when it gets firm, and if there's a little bit of wind even, how much smaller those targets actually become.
Yeah, you just feel like you lose control the firmer it gets, right? That's what I always felt like in the fairway. If it's soft, I feel like I got my ball in my hand and I can place it where I want it to go. When it's firm, it's like, man, if I don't hit that 169 number, this could be a long hole. And that just puts so much more pressure on you on a second shot golf course already when it becomes firm of I've got to hit this exactly what I was talking about to be in a position to make a birdie or par.
Right. God, that makes it so fun to watch too. Like the viewing experience when a ball lands and then bounces and you're unsure of the result now and you're like on this ride watching as a viewer versus when it plops, lands, you see a ball mark, you could see like mud a little bit and then it just stops right there or spins. That viewing experience, shot over shot over shot over shot. It's why the Open Championship is so fun to watch generally, is because like the excitement begins when that thing lands. And a lot of courses that you guys play week in and week out, the excitement kind of ends when it lands. Like, the camera guy, their version of Nate the Great that we have, who's like watching the ball, he's zoomed in on the ball. All you see behind it is the sky. It lands and then the experience is over, versus now when it does get firm, like you're talking about, when that bad boy lands, you're like, we're in for a fucking ride, man. Like, where's this thing going to end up? What slope is it going to catch? Is he going to have an impossible up and down? Is it going to be tight and next to the hole? Did he spin it correctly? Like, I think a lot of when Tiger shot that front nine, like 31, which was 2000, like, God, I can't remember, 2011 maybe. Him and Phil were in the same group and they were going nuts. And I remember Tiger on the sixth hole, because it was that front left pin, and Tiger hit like a 20-yard hook with like a fucking 8-iron or 7-iron or something that landed on the middle right of the green, took a hard left spin, and then got like below the hole. And I was just watching thinking like, that was a psychotic shot that guy just hit that you could only play on a hole like that. And when it's firm, I feel like we're just going to get a lot more of that than we ever get week in and week out.
Yeah, when it's firm, man, what people don't understand is it's great on all those easy pins that we're so used to watching balls feed to. But when it's firm, if you miss the feed, now you have that on your pitch shot, which makes it more difficult. Whereas if it's soft, the pitch shots become easier because I can control the bounce and the spin. Where it's firm, it's skidding more, it's harder to check. Think of pins like on number 1, front right on Sunday. Normally it's kind of in that bottom bowl where guys, when it's soft, they're just flying it right there. It's plopping 6 feet from the hole. But now, it's landing in that bottom and maybe one hopping up on that back shelf. You're trying to get it to land perfect to where it catches the shelf and comes back, or the backstop to come back. 6 is a great example. That front left pin, you got to hit it out to the right and use the slope. But if you hit it too far to the right, it goes up on that shelf, and now you got a brutal 2-putt. There's so many feeder pins that 14 is a great example. We always see that back middle pin where guys can hit it left or behind it and it comes back to the pin. But think about now, if I just miss that to the left and it goes long left, that pitch shot is impossible when it's firm and fast. And that's the shots that I really enjoy watching and respect when these guys pull them off, how precise and how on they are.
So speaking of shots, I brought up that Hideki Matsuyama shot that I couldn't really remember last show, and I went back and watched it because the Masters app, by the way, greatest re-download of the year for sure. You see that little thing kind of tick around, and then it changes from Masters 2025 to Masters 2026. They have a new AI feature in there that you can just go into this search bar and just type in anything you want, and it gives you the video. So you could say Hideki Matsuyama when he won second shot, right?
That's fucking unbelievable.
And it gives you every video immediately. So you can write Tiger Woods chip on 7, whatever it might be. It's unbelievable, and it brings it up immediately. No commercial, no buffering, no nothing. So I typed in Hideki Matsuyama 15th hole Sunday of his win, the chip, and it gives you him hitting into the water over the green. Now, he had a 3-stroke lead going into this hole, right? Hits into the water, has to drop there. They still have those trees. They've gotten rid of those trees now, right? Those 3 trees that were behind that 15th green. Maybe they got rid of one of them. They're still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're there.
There used to be more. Wasn't there like talk about them taking those trees out, or they've spaced them?
I want to say the storm. Was it that storm might have taken one? Might have taken.
I remember the next year the drone shot around 15 was more revealing. Whatever it was. Anyway, he has tree trouble over the green, and they're saying now all the commentaries about if you just hit that green with too much speed, it's going back into the water the other way. Like, it's impossible because, as Trent Reines says, it's a saddle. So he hits this like low little pitch shot through the trees up on top of the hill, and it perfectly lands in the rough. Now, it seems like such a mundane, like almost bad golf shot, but to minimize his mistake and to keep it up there on that platform was like an unbelievably huge shot for him, because he could have made a 12. He just could have kept going and playing ping pong back and forth. So I remembered it being like a big moment, but it wasn't one of those like, he chipped it to 3 feet. He chipped it into the rough, and it stayed in the rough, right. And he had like a putt through the rough to get onto the green. But it's little shots like that to the winners and to the guys that end up getting it done, like that's that course knowledge, right? That's those little shots that you can go back. Sure, everyone thinks of the last putt that goes in, or the recency bias of whatever the last hole was, but through 4 rounds of golf, there's these little shots that you can piece together that's the reason why you won the Masters. And I thought that was so cool to go back and see.
Absolutely. I think that's like such a cool little part of the course that's a little bit of like ball knowing to understand. And I do kind of recall, now that you bring it up, that the commentators are like, people don't understand. I know he's not on the green. He just hit it in the water and then chipped it short of the green. But like, that was a great shot from back there. It reminds me like Rory last year on Thursday's round, when he had it going, he was like 4 or 5 under, and then he chipped it into the water from like that pretty similar spot over the green on 15 and ended up making a double. And I remember us watching being like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And it like wasn't that bad of a chip, but you chip it into the water there if you're Hideki in that spot like you're talking about, and that the tournament goes from 3-shot lead, you win, to like it's over.
Yeah, I mean, Immelman was like, oh, that's world class. It's like it was in the rough. He hit it 10 yards short, it felt like. It was crazy. I was like, oh, he duffed it. But yeah, no, it's what an incredible place. I mean, and then also you see stuff like that. I would shoot a billion. I know we always have these conversations of like, what would the amateur shoot out there? Tournament week, dude, billion. There's holes I'm not finishing. You get me in that Hideki Matsuyama spot on 15 with all that pressure.
You may not finish the hole.
I ain't finishing the hole, man. I'm waving I mean, at some point I putt, but I don't even know if the putts are like staying up there.
That 15th hole front right hole location is the scariest I've ever had, because you can literally putt it. Like, I hit it there, one of the Masters, to the back fringe, like a beautiful second shot to 40 feet. And then I was scared to death I was going to putt it in the water the whole time. And then I was going to have to go back across the water and hit that wedge shot to that pin. And I'm like, well, I'm going to hit it right back to where I am. And what am I going to do? Put it in the water again? And then you leave it 5 feet short, and that 5-footer breaks a foot. And it's like, well, now I just made par, and I hit 2 of the greatest shots of my life.
Because years ago we had a debate, a hypothetical, like, could we win the Masters if you put us on the furthest part of the green? And it's been since like brought up a million times. I think we did this like 6 or 7 years ago.
What do you
And
mean
it was a
by
funny
furthest part of the
conversation
green?
about like if you put an average 10 handicapper on the furthest part of the green, that's their first shot. Do they win the Masters?
Oh.
I think there was a debate, like maybe not.
Yeah, I think maybe not. I don't think you would two-putt a lot of them.
Oh no, you definitely. I think most of them they wouldn't. And I mean, in one of the years, Tiger fucking Woods, who's been preparing for the tournament, he knows how fast everything is. He's won the tournament at this point already. And then on 13, he just putted it into the water. Right? Remember that clip? It's like he's like got an eagle putt from 20 feet, and then he like makes double because he putted it into the water. It's like you think that some of the 10 handicaps, it's almost worse to be. If you're like. If that front, I think a Tiger's putt in 2019 on the 9th green, KIZ, when he was like way top right pin, was that kind of like front left, front middle pin. You put like a 10 handicap up there on the top edge of that green, they're putting it off the false front for sure, like way down there.
Yeah.
So now you've got like a 50-yard putt up the hill or something. What are you gonna do? You can make $1 million there.
Yeah, that was that
Make
lag putt, right? It was like 60-something feet.
Yeah, it was awesome. It's absolutely sick. All right. Who do you think, KIZ, who do you think a firm and fast Masters favors?
Well, people are going to jump on the bandwagon of the shorter hitters have a chance. And I always laugh at that because if it makes it shorter for me, it makes it shorter for Rory too, right? So if now I can pound driver and, get it down there to hit 4-iron into 11, well, that means he can hit 8-iron now. And I'm still playing for par with a 4-iron, and he's playing for birdie with an 8-iron. So I don't get too caught up in that. I think, firm greens is where guys really, it brings in a chance for the other guys to have a chance because guys can miss more. If a 9-iron on soft greens is going to stay within the hole a lot easier than a 4-iron, my miss is more drastic, if that makes sense. So,
okay.
Guys can take, 5-irons and 6-irons and shape them into the middle of the green on firm greens, whereas everyone's playing for more pars on firm greens than birdies.
It neutralizes the approach shots a little bit.
Neutralizes because it's just harder to get it really close. Whereas, if I'm throwing darts and Rory's hitting a 9-iron and I'm hitting a 5-iron, he's going to beat me all day long over the course of 4 days. Whereas if he's kind of playing conservative with his 9-iron because if he lands it pin high and it one hops over the green, he's going to make bogey. Now he's kind of hitting it in the same spot that I'm hitting it in with a 5-iron, and we're having more of a putting contest. I think that's why I was so successful in Austin Country Club because the greens and fairways were so firm that everybody was kind of playing from the same spots, and it felt like, hey, now it's a putting match.
You did play well there. You won there. That was always. I was kind of thinking about this morning too. I know you you were going through in typical KIZ fashion on the last show why you could like never win at Augusta National. I was just like too long for you. But I was thinking you had to feel pretty good going into a bunch of those Masters because you always played so well at the match play, and the match play was like 2 weeks before the Masters.
Yeah, but in what people don't understand is how much winning takes out of you. Like you talked about Cam Young not playing since the Players. He probably took 10 days for him to feel normal again after that. And you don't really register the emotional and physical toll winning takes out of you. And especially at the match play where I played, 9 rounds in 5 days or whatever. I remember feeling like shit for days after that. Not only because I couldn't sleep because I had so much adrenaline built up from all the pressure and all the amp upness, if that's a word, of wanting to win. That you literally, when you lay down, your body's like, yeah, right, dude, I'm not going to sleep. I've got so much adrenaline coursing through my veins. There's no chance I can calm down enough to sleep. And it literally takes 4 days before you feel like a human being again. Not only that, but also the crazy requests you get after you win. Like everybody wants you on their shows, just like we do. We want everybody to come hang out with us. And, all that stuff is taking up your mental capacity. And then, I'm winning 2 weeks before. I've shown up to Augusta feeling like, man, I've been through a whirlwind, not like I'm supremely focused and rested and emotionally perfect. And the way I always won is like I was just as shocked as anyone when I won because I never dreamed I would be good enough to win on the PGA Tour. So there was also like, I want to celebrate. Fuck, I don't want to just fire it right back up and go win again tomorrow. I want to hang out with my buds and enjoy that I won on the PGA Tour, the greatest tour in the world, and I never dreamed this would actually happen.
See, that's why we need you on the show. That's just a
Great
complete
insight.
Incredible.
It's awesome insight. I've never thought about that
We
once.
say such good insight that we say the opposite if he's not here. We're like, you win, you're rolling,
You're feeling good, you're
confident,
playing great.
you feel
100%.
great, everything's good. KIZ is like, actually, the worst thing you can do is win a couple weeks before the Masters. We're like, holy
Well, it's got to be a little bit of
And
a chicken and
it
the egg,
makes
no?
sense.
Like if you win, your game is top tier at that point. But like the mental side, the physical side, obviously drains you. It all drains out of you to win. But there's got to be like that battle of like, all right, once you show up to the golf course again, you just beat every single one of the best golfers on the planet the week before. You got to have a little bit of confidence in yourself that next week, no?
Yeah. For sure, you have confidence in your game. The toll it takes over your body
Totally.
and mental. I'll tell you, one of the funniest stories after that match play win is a few of my buddies flew out on Sunday morning to watch, and you don't know that you're going to win or even make it to the finals. And I won. I made it to the finals. I ended up winning. They all fly private with me back to Aiken whatever time I get home, and all of my buds in Aiken are at the bar, the only bar that's open on Sunday night in Aiken at 11 o'clock or whatever time I get home. And they're all waiting for me. And I can remember vividly getting off that plane thinking the last thing on earth I want to do is go to a bar right now. Like I am like so out of it. I don't want to talk to anyone else. And I go to that bar and it's like last call. So I've had like 2 drinks. I'm not even drunk, right? And I'm sitting there with a glass in my hand talking to a guy. And it's loud, and I'm just like, man, I've got to go home. And I can vividly remember just like my hand doesn't work anymore. I was so tired, and I just dropped this glass, and I was wearing flip-flops, and it just shatters all over my foot and, cuts my foot, whatever. And I said, all right, boys, I got to go home. And I was not drunk. I probably had a buzz, but I wake up the next morning, and my right foot's hanging out of the sheets. Like my wife had obviously seen the cut and like put my foot out of the sheets, and I was like, what happened to my foot? Why is it so bloody? And she's like, I don't know. You came home that way. And I was like, holy shit. I don't even like, I was such a zombie at that point. I don't even remember that. I had to text all my buddies like, what, how did I do this in my foot again? They're like, you dropped your drink just mid convo and said, I got to go home, and walked out. And I was like, yeah, that's what winning after, because I played 36 on Saturday, won one. I think I had to go to a playoff in one of them. So I played more than 36. Then I played 36 Sunday. Then I fly across the country, get home, and I was toast. And then to think I was playing the Masters 10 days later, no wonder I probably felt like shit.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's something I don't even really ever consider. Like Frankie kind of said, I'm like, playing great golf, just roll in. I bet he wants the Masters to start on Monday. And you're like, I can't even remember what happened last night, not because I was drunk, just because of what it takes out of you. So yeah, that's why we need you on the show, KIZ. We've been doing 9 years of the opposite take.
100%.
Yeah, I guarantee that's why Cam Young hasn't played. Like, he's got 4 kids, maybe 3 kids now, and just the stuff you do after the Players' Championship win takes a week. Probably didn't play golf for a week. Finally starts to feel better the week after, starts practicing. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to take 2 more weeks and get back into my grind and show up to Augusta fresh, ready to go.
Awesome. See, that's my guy.
I love it.
That's why I like Cam Young even more now. I do love something that you said, which I've heard some players kind of talk about. If they could do it over again, they would go back and like really try to enjoy the wins and the good moments. And I really think that like that type of perspective that you had, where you're like, yeah, when I won, I wasn't necessarily like, I got to win again immediately. It was like, holy shit, I won. This is awesome. We should celebrate this. I feel like I don't know. I just feel like that's a mindset that you probably don't see enough. And that I feel like the mindset that if I were somehow in your shoes, which I'll never be, that I would like hope that I would have in that time.
Yeah, I wish that going back that I enjoyed them even more now that I, not playing nearly as much and doing way other things. If I had to go back, I would probably say, everyone get on the plane. We're going to Costa Rica for a week or something after I won. As you got the thing with the PGA Tour, now we talked about this on numerous shows, is every level you get to on the PGA Tour, you want to get to the next level, right? If you win the RSM Classic, now I want to win the Players' Championship. You win the Players' Championship, I want to win the Masters. You win the Masters, I want to be on the President's Cup team. I'm on the President's Cup team, I want to be on the Ryder Cup team. I want to be top 10 in the world. I want to do this. So every time you get to a level, there's more pressure because it's like, well, now that I've done this, I got to do that. And now that I've done this, I got to keep getting better. And that mindset and all of us as competitors and some of the top golfers in the world drives you to keep getting better. So when you win, you're like, well, I can do even better. Now that I've won the Players, now I know I can win the Masters if I just get a little bit better. And that I don't think a lot of guys step back and actually enjoy the perspective of what they've accomplished.
Yeah, damn. Again, that's great. Phenomenal insight. That's why we got you. That's why we need you. That's why we absolutely need you on here. It is like just feels it makes a little bit of like what Scotty was saying last year at the Open even more understandable, you know, when he was just like, yeah, it's really not that fulfilling. Like no matter what you do, he's like, it's just you kind of keep chasing it. It doesn't, you know, it feels good for a couple minutes after you win, and then you're sort of just like, all right, I guess I'm gonna go try to win again. You just kind of keep doing that.
That his whole statement there hit home to me as much as any golfer has ever said anything. It's like, yeah, that's exactly how I felt every time is, all right, now what's next? What are we going to win next? Now that you've done this, we got to get better. And the get better was always like, well, damn, I'm pretty good. I just won the World Golf Championship, or, you know, I'm in my 8th Masters in a row, but I don't have time for that because my best finish is 15th. You know, I got to get better. So fascinating.
That side of Scotty is so interesting. Have you experienced that side of Scotty? He'll give an answer at a press conference where he'll say, essentially, and this is a full paraphrase, where he's like, nothing matters. The sun's going to explode one day, and I don't think about my legacy. I don't think about any of these things. It's just he's that, for a guy at his level to have won so many golf tournaments and to be number one in the world and do all the things that we're describing, for him to have that attitude, I just don't ever think we've seen somebody with that attitude. Mostly it's what you're saying, Kiz, where it's like, now what's the next thing? I want to strive to be great. It's a lot of the Tiger stuff where it's like, I want to take over the world. Scotty's like, none of this matters. None of it. And I find that fascinating, like you guys are saying.
Yeah, well, I also think that's what makes him great, Trent. You know, he has that perspective, and that's why he can get back up and grind and practice and be prepared to go win again, is because it's like, you know, this is my job. This is what I do. I want to be the best I can be, but it's so grounded in the sense of the whole world that he can go win 6 times in a row like we've seen, or, you know, 7 times a year and continue, where I don't think because of his grounded, he doesn't feel the things I described a few minutes ago after a win of, you know, holy shit, I got to get better. Holy shit, I got to do this. What am I going to win next? It's like, nope, I did what I was supposed to do. I'm going to go hang out with my family. And then Tuesday, I'm going to start practicing my craft again to be the best Scotty Scheffler I can be. And I respect him. I see that all the time in the cups, and been fortunate enough to be around him so many times that that's literally how he approaches the game. Is like, what do I have to do, Scotty Scheffler, to be the best Scotty Scheffler I can be? And he doesn't get caught up in all the buzz or the other stuff to try to get to a level that, or somewhere that he doesn't think he can be.
It makes sense. It completely makes sense. You know, I cut back to that clip from Full Swing of just the comparison between what Brooks Koepka was going through at the time and what Scotty and Meredith were going through at the time, where it's like Brooks was searching, you know, he's kind of grinding. He almost looked like, you know, as his wife's kind of talking to him, his brain was somewhere else. He's grinding on his swing. He's thinking about his putting stroke, whatever. And then they pan to Scotty, who's just drinking an iced coffee, walking around this like perfect neighborhood with white picket fences with Meredith, like this perfect. Yeah, right. And it checks out. That's like you say, with all the emotional toll that it takes to be in contention, to have your game sharp, and then to like overcome and defeat all the stuff that it takes to win and defeat the entire field and the golf course, and then do that over and over again. It's like you need to be in a pretty amazing place.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Family. Speaking of family, what's up?
G Money said it's pool time, dude. Tell him you say it's pool time.
Full time.
It is pool time. Go get in the pool.
Yeah, it's
so
pool
good.
time.
That's so good. It is pool time. All right.
Yeah.
That's
Sorry, I felt
amazing.
like I ranted that whole hour about the Masters. Sorry.
I think that was
No,
probably
we
the
needed.
plan. I think on my
We got
phone
exactly
it
what we
was
needed.
like Friday, Kiz rants about the Masters.
Okay. I just kind of had so many thoughts. I just kept going and going and going. I felt like I was talking too much.
All those clips are going to do great on social. It's unbelievable. You have great insight, and like it's not rocket science, right? You just like experienced it, so it's just it makes everything you're saying makes sense. It's just we're never able to be in the position to say what you're saying because we didn't experience it. It's just us on the other side of the ropes, and we'll never have that insight. Even though, like I said, it's not like you're not breaking any news to us. You're like, yeah, winning's hard, and after the winning's hard, but like to actually hear it from someone that's won is really cool, and it makes you think about it a little bit more as a fan. So it's always great.
We're just guessing.
Yeah, we've
been guessing for a decade, kids.
A lot of guessing.
It's okay. You've done well. You've done well with your guessing.
Yeah, educated guess
for the most part. Couple misses, couple hits,
couple misses, couple wins.
You did a full Mongolian reversal on the Tiger take. I mean, that's pretty impressive. You went from being the idiot of the internet to the same guy that everybody else is 5 days later.
Pretty close. It's definitely landing closer to that, I would say, which is it. It's a little feels better than it did at the first moment.
I think just as like anyone that as this goes on and days go on and more stuff comes out with anything in the world we live in today, the more exposure that this gets, the more you start to feel bad for the person that they just keep hammering. Like the videos are hard. They're hard to watch. The more you keep shoving it in my face, it's like enough. Like, do what we kind of said in the beginning, or at least I said in the beginning, where it's like, get this over with, reprimand him, whatever it has to be, whatever the answer is. Let's like move on. Hopefully he learns his lesson, because it wasn't good. It's not good that he continues to keep doing it. But like the more and more, the pictures and the screenshots of him in the back of a police car and stuff, it's like I like scroll right past it. It's like I can't watch it. You know what I mean? It's that's a human also. It's at some point you have to be like, this is enough. It's too much exposure.
What was the video on the timing wise when we saw today, where like he's sitting in the back of that Tahoe and Robbie Mack's right there, and they're talking with the first responders, like getting my sticks out, get my putter, and they're all just joking around with him like they're all buddies. And then I couldn't tell, like, is that before he got tested for DUI? Obviously,
I couldn't tell the timeline either. It's a great question, because it almost seemed disjointed from the first kind of videos that came out, where he was like, they handcuff him. He was doing the tests, which, kids, you had a great point. You're like, I don't know if I could pass those tests right now. It's like Thursday at noon. It's like some, but yeah, it was very disjointed. And then the phone call and the president comment and like all of that. I don't know when all of that occurred, because another thing we were saying in the group text is like, he was allowed to just like wander off and go wherever he wanted, and like take a phone call. Like he was.
I don't think so.
Like,
I don't think he wasn't
right. It explains. It explains why he's so stunned if the timeline is this way, why he's so surprised when they throw the cuffs on him. Because when you watch those early videos, and you're like, oh, there's no way he thinks he's getting a DUI here. No chance.
Right.
And then the tests happen, I guess, and then they throw the cuffs on him. But there is now this period where he is walking away, and it's the whole thing. I do need like a piece together timeline, because it's very strange.
Yeah. I mean, as more evidence has come out, it's like everyone starts to like analyze every second of it, right? There's lawyers on Twitter being like, there's no way that he was impaired. There's other people being like, look at this. So it's just messy, man. It's an absolutely messy scene. And you don't know, like the way he was talking to Robbie Mack in those videos, you don't know if that's him being impaired or him being nervous as shit. He's just like talking a mile a minute, saying random stuff, trying to put things in his mouth. The police officer's like, dude, you got to stop doing that. Like, uh-oh. It's just like, you don't know if that's Tiger being weird and nervous or Tiger being impaired, which he ended up falling asleep in the back of the car. So it's like, I mean, at the end of the day, if we're going to see it, we're also going to have our takes on it. So, I mean, it's tough, man. I wish it would go away.
It's brutal, I think. And, in a lot of the comments that are like, yeah, if this guy, it must be nice being Tiger, you get like special treatment. And I'm like, well, I don't know if like your buddy Jack Smith that lives back home got a DUI last week. I don't think the footage of him hiccuping and yawning in the back of the car is plastered all over the internet. So it's like there's a little bit, in my opinion, of like give and take on the whole thing. You kind of know, unfortunately, when these things occur, that all this stuff is coming, that the KFCs and Jack Max of the world are going to break down every frame. And I get it. And it's what I didn't want to be a part of. And I haven't said a word to Social Rob since, but I checked the accounts this morning. I was very happy to see that like none of that footage was put up by us. It doesn't mean that it's like not gonna get out. But I completely agree with you. I think it's very like shitty. I saw one post that drove me nuts that was like clearly a screenshot of Tiger Woods yawning, but the way they screenshot it looked like he was like yelling, and it just says like Tiger Woods irritated in the back of the car. And I was like, no, he was yawning. So that type of stuff, again, it's coming. I felt like I knew all this stuff was coming. And it's like, I just didn't want to be a part of it. And now you're kind of forced to talk about it. Like you said, Frankie, very sad. It's very shitty. It doesn't justify what he did in any way, shape, or form. I kind of just tweeted out yesterday, take his keys, take his license. He shouldn't be driving. Force him basically not to be driving because he clearly can't handle it. But it is also tough to judge with, like you were just kind of talking about. It's like, I don't know, the guy just flipped his car. He's had a million surgeries. He can't even walk to begin with when he's walking around. And now he looks like groggy and you're not really sure about his reaction and his brain. And then he falls asleep. KIZ just talked about the emotional toll and everything it takes on you when you win a golf tournament, that he just dropped a glass and didn't even remember it. Like, yeah, Tiger passed out. Definitely could have been from being impaired. It also could have been just like the adrenaline's all running out. You know, it's just really, really hard to judge, in my opinion, in those exact moments, what's going on. And people at their low point, who he's shocked he got the DUI. He knows he's going to get plastered and embarrassed all over the internet. He's probably in about as low of a psychological standpoint as you could be in that exact moment. And I feel mostly bad for the guy. And I've kind of used the example when I've been with a bunch of buddies this last week of, talking about the whole situation. People want to bring it up. They want to discuss the video and the whole response and all of it, which I completely get. I'm happy to give my side as we've done the whole week. But I basically was like, look, if one of your best buddies, let's say, or not even, let's say just one of your 10th closest friend, whatever, in your friend group, 10 years ago that person got a bad shoulder injury. They haven't been able to sleep great. There's no perfect surgery to fix it. 6 years ago, they got a DUI that had nothing to do with alcohol. They had 5 different pills in their system. They're still struggling to sleep. And then you found out another week ago they got another DUI, no alcohol. They had a couple painkillers in their pocket. They're still trying to recover from that injury. Would your reaction be like, fuck that person, they're a piece of shit? Or would your reaction be like, God damn, that's our buddy, we got to get him better. I feel bad for him. I want to help him. We got to make sure he also doesn't drive. I think almost everyone's reaction would be option B. And so for me, it was like, I don't know. That's kind of the whole way that I've seen it the entire time. I get that you should be reprimanded for doing bad shit. But man, when you're plastered all over the internet, when he did 8 hours in jail, when he's probably going to face more legal troubles going down the road, that to me is that's punishment that he's going to have to deal with. The rest of it should be a little bit of empathy. And I'm with you. I hate seeing all the footage. I'm glad that Rob chose not to post it. I didn't want to get involved with telling him to post it or not post it. I get why people do it. He's incredibly famous. But yeah, a big part of me just feels bad for the guy when shit like this happens. Okay. KIZ, we're going to do a little Masters draft. So I know it's pool time for you. You got a little family time. So we appreciate your insight. It's phenomenal. You're the man. And we'll see you very shortly in your home kind of neck of the woods.
Tell me what the schedule is for y'all Sunday, Monday. Are y'all flying into Columbia and staying there, and then I'm meeting you there? Or are y'all coming to Augusta-Aiken? We're all riding together?
We got the Bryan Bros on Monday, so as people are listening to this, we have already filmed with the Bryan Bros. Hopefully it'll happen, but that's happening in Columbia, right? So I think we're flying into Augusta, driving to Columbia Monday morning, filming with you, and then driving back, picking up the dads in Columbia Monday afternoon.
So I just meet y'all. Y'all just text me, and I'll meet you on the interstate at the Aiken exit and follow y'all up there Monday morning. Y'all just tell me what time to meet you.
File your way with Tax Act. It is that season. It is that time. It is something that you must do. You have to file your taxes. You got to be a good citizen in this country. Tax Act offers 3 filing options. Do it yourself, a little DIY, which is very simple, very easy to do. They make it that way. They're great at that. You could do Expert Assist, which is DIY with expert help. And then also you can go expert full service, let an expert do your taxes from start to finish. You can file yourself with step-by-step guidance and get your max refund guaranteed. Taxes, very important. And Tax Act's been awesome, gents.
Yeah, you got to get it done, especially right now. Clock is ticking. Make sure if you're one of these people that are waiting till the last minute, all of this stuff, send it to the experts. Tax Act knows what they're doing. It's simple. It's quick, easy. Get it done with Tax Act. Just let them get it over with. Enough pushing it off. You got to get it done with Tax Act. These are the people to do it. We all did it with Tax Act. It's really, to me, the only simplest way that you can get this done.
Let them file for you with the expert full service. Hand off your taxes. Let them do the work. They're credentialed, U.S.-based experts are there to help. Tax Act. Let's get them over with. Known for leading trends and innovation in what golfers wear on course, Adidas is driving the change in golf apparel by introducing the most technical bottom yet, the Ultimate 365 Plus short. Gentlemen, these are so good that I actually side texted our boy Alex a couple weeks ago, and I said, look, man, you sent me 2 pairs of these Ultimate 365 Plus shorts. Can I get every color that Adidas has ever made in this short? So now I have black, light blue. I've got a khaki. I've got a white pair that I think I'm going to wear at Augusta National. The new, brand new, they revamped their shorts. They talked us all through it in December, and they said in like 10 years ago or so, we were the first ones to really revamp the golf short. We haven't revamped it since, so we decided to grind over it and say, let's get this right. They've got that green strip that keeps your shirt from coming untucked. I'm obsessed with the Ultimate 365 Plus shorts from Adidas.
Yeah, when you see the green strip on the inside, you know that that's the one. Like, that is the new look. When you go to the store, when you go on adidas.com, that's the one to look for, is the green strip on the inside, especially with the pants and the shorts. That's their new technology. That's the new short. Go check it out. Try it on. You're not going to believe how good these things are, how comfortable they are, how it's like, it feels like you're wearing nothing when you're out there on the golf course. It's unbelievable. Adidas makes the best golf shorts and golf pants by far, and you got to go feel it to believe it. You got to go try it out yourself.
It is the Ultimate 365 Plus short is the most technical golf short Adidas has ever made, packed with new materials. The Ultimate 365 Plus short features a new 360 grip waistband. That's the one that we're talking about with nanotechnology. The twist, weave, lightweight fabric. That's the fabric Frankie's talking about. And regular relaxed fit to keep golfers comfortable from tee to green. I'll wear these on a flight. I'll wear these out to lunch. I'll wear these when I play golf. I just wear them everywhere. It is the Ultimate 365 Plus short from Adidas. Helps golfers stay comfortable and styling and dry on and off the course. Ordering lottery tickets has never been easier thanks to our partners at Jackpocket. Whether you like to order Powerball, Mega Millions, scratch-off tickets, you can order them all on the Jackpocket lottery app. Jackpocket makes ordering tickets quick, simple, and secure, which we love. And here's the best part. If you are new to Jackpocket, they've got a special offer just for you golf fans. That's you guys out there listening. So pay attention. You just download the Jackpocket app, sign up using code GOLF2. That's GOLF number 2, GOLF2. And new customers who deposit $5 will get $10 in lottery credits instantly. That's going to happen instantly. Once again, that's right. Get $10 in credits instantly when you deposit just $5 on Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app. Folks, we are about to do something we've never done before. I'm very excited for this. We are going to do a draft between the three of us, myself, Frankie, and Trent. We're going to do a draft on Masters moments. I believe we are painting this as our favorite Masters moments. We are going to spin a wheel that Ryan Richardson, a.k.a. Rich, as Kiz calls him, has to determine the draft order. I assume we're going to do snake draft, gentlemen. Is that correct?
Okay.
Yeah. So we will go once a Masters moment has been selected, it is off the board. You may not add it to your roster. We're each going to draft 5. We're going to put it out on social and simply see who has the best lineup of top 5 favorite Masters moments. Without further ado, I believe Ryan Richardson, will we like to spin this wheel?
Shout out to us, by the way. No one's ever come up with an idea of drafting and putting 1 through 5 or a wheel. So this is this is new stuff at Barstool Sports for sure. And I just want
innovation station we're on over here.
Yeah,
for
Barstool
sure.
Sports. This is the first time Barstool Sports has ever seen a wheel or a draft, and we're happy to be the ones to shepherd that new technology into this company. So without further ado, Ryan, why don't you hit that wheel there? Maybe even Trent's gonna get wet.
Oh, yeah.
What a freaking first pick, man.
Riggs Barstool.
First pick.
Oh,
yeah.
Riggsy boy with the first pick.
Second pick.
Perfect. Perfect.
Trent. And then Frankie gets 2 in a row. All right. Folks, with the first overall pick in the history of Masters moments, I am going 2005, Mr. Eldrick Taunt Woods with the chip of a lifetime on the 16th hole against Chris DeMarco, the entire scene. It was the 16th hole on Sunday. The commentary, Vern Lundquist, in your life, have you ever seen anything like that? The terrible high five, the Nike logo hanging on the lip for a perfect commercial and then falling in. You just can't get any better than that, in my opinion. That's the number one pick, is Tiger's chip in 2005.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great pick. I think if you know, the odds were out there on what the number one pick would be, that would be really high. I mean, they made commercials of it. It's you know, I was 16 at the time, so it's right in the wheelhouse of just like, wow, I'm really into sports. I'm really into golf. I less like playing golf all the time and more just watching sports all the time. That's just a historic moment in the history of the sport. So I think it's a great first pick.
Thank you.
All right, Trent.
All right. So I've got the second pick. And are we not allowed to take full years, or can we take full years and then people can also pick apart those years? If we can take full years, which I can see that through Rigs for a Loop, I'm taking Tiger winning the 2019 Masters.
Lazy, but it's good. It's lazy, but it's good.
All right, here, if you want to do moments, Tiger hugging Charlie Woods after winning the 2019 Masters is my moment. It was literally my first moment under the subcategory.
I think that's an awesome pick. I think that's a phenomenal pick. I think I pretty much had that listed as second either. I just think it keeps it a little cleaner if we're doing moments versus if you take a whole year, then I kind of feel like an asshole if I pick a special moment from that year. I think it's an awesome pick, a phenomenal pick.
Hug with Charlie after the win.
So I've got two picks.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to go Tiger in the same vein. I'm going to go Tiger Woods, 1997, wins his first Masters by 12 strokes, bursts onto the scene, hugs Earl Woods. That moment was like, this guy's different. And he's also, you got to feel the family aspect around it. You knew how much it meant to Tiger to give that victory to his dad. And that really set up what 2019 brought us with him hugging Charlie and why it was so full circle. So you don't get 2019 without 97. So I think my pick's a little bit better, not to pander to the people that are listening to the show and that are going to be voting or whatever it may be, but 97 for sure.
That's also the most viewed Masters in history.
Wow.
Over 20 million viewers were watching that.
It's a great one.
Now it starts to get a little bit tough. Now, here's the other thing, and I want this disclaimer to go out anywhere that's going to be on social media. I'm not going to blindly pick moments that I wasn't necessarily a part of or got to view. Like, I could go on golfdigest.com and just rattle off what they say are the top 50 moments. It feels very disingenuous to me. I'm not going to pick Jack Nicklaus moments. I bet there's a billion Jack Nicklaus moments that are better than anything I'm going to say, or Arnold Palmer, any of these moments, right? Like, I didn't get to experience those. I feel disingenuous saying that. So I just feel like I needed to state that this is like my personal greatest moments, where I think that might hurt me maybe because like someone else can just pick chalk of just what the best moments that have ever occurred at the tournament are. But that's just kind of my stance. I don't know if you guys feel the same way.
No, I agree with that. Jack Nicklaus did not make my list. And I know on the outset, if you're looking at a list of things that's like most iconic Masters moments or favorite Masters moments, of course, the yes, sir putt is going to be on there. But I wasn't even born yet. It was going to be 3 more calendar years before I appeared on planet Earth. So I'm just not going to pick those. All the things on my list are things that I've seen.
It's a factor in my ranking of the moments, but I very much consider my list eligible to be moments that I didn't witness.
Okay. That's fair.
But it is a factor for sure.
So now with that caveat of what I just said, again, there needs to be context to this thing. I'm going Rory McIlroy's shot on 15 on Sunday of his Grand Slam win. That was a shot around the trees that I will remember where I was, what I was doing, who I was watching it with. for the rest of my life. In my basement, Don, my father-in-law, sitting in front of me to the left. I was in a high chair from upstairs that we brought down. I had Karen, my mother-in-law, Hannah, my sister-in-law. Everyone was down there. Their baby Jack was sitting down watching Peppa Pig on the small TV underneath the big TV. I remember what we were eating. Like, it was one of those moments that when he hit it, you were rooting for Rory so much. You wanted him to get it done. The grand slam, get it done, Rory. And to watch that tracer and to watch him walk it down, I'm getting the chills to the point where I need a goddamn coat right now. Just really thinking back to him walking that down.
This guy's selling his list hard, man. He's selling his list so hard.
Commercials already. It's been animated on Masters commercials. It's my moment. Rory McIlroy, 2025 Masters.
Listen, man, it was on my list. It was definitely on my list. We're big Rory guys on the show. Me and Riggs had bet him that year, so there was extra incentive for us to be excited about a potential Rory win. And yeah, him walking towards that golf ball, people be like, "Oh, he didn't make the putt." It's like, it doesn't matter, dude.
It doesn't matter, like, dude.
You just, and now I'm like, I don't know if I'm supposed to pump up Frankie's picks or not, but I had that on my list for sure.
Me too. That's high on my list. So that's an awesome moment. Like Trent said, I'll never forget where I was. We were at KIZ in Dallas watching on like this big screen. Rory was reeling at the time, dude. He had gone double and then bogey, and then he's behind the trees, and you're like, if he doesn't pull off this shot, Justin Rowe's going to win by 3.
Yep.
And he hit that shot. It was fucking all time. So I like the pick a lot.
My turn?
Yep.
So we've done a lot of not speculation, but like we've said a lot of things that are like, this is why I picked this is why I picked that. If you're saying favorite Masters moments, like, I don't want to be negative with my picks because this is just a moment that I remember very vividly watching, and it's Jordan Spieth's 2016 collapse on the 12th hole. And that
I was wondering who was going to go negative first, man. I was wondering who was going to go negative first.
You look at a headline, you see favorite Masters moments. And listen, I like Jordan Spieth. I want nothing bad to happen to him, but if you don't think that him collapsing on that 12th hole when he was, you go back 10 years, you think about the spot that he was in. He wins it in 2015. He's the leader of that tournament on that Sunday. And you're like, wow, this is going to be the youngest back-to-back Masters champion we've ever seen. All he's got to do is get through this gauntlet, which it is a gauntlet. He steps up to 12, puts it in the water, and you're like, oh no. Steps up again, puts it in the water. Now we've really got ourselves a situation. And I just vividly remember him on that hole collapsing, wouldn't even look at the second shot when he hit it. And it's a moment that I'm always going to remember. So that is my second pick, and I feel bad going negative, but it's just a huge moment in my Masters viewing history.
To add a little context to why that's such a big moment also, he had a 5-stroke lead, and then in a blink of an eye, 3 back. The next thing about that was he had won wire to wire the year before at 21 years old and was on pace to win wire to wire again, being the only person, I think, in Masters history to be able to accomplish that. Back-to-back wire to wire would have been like at 21 and 22 years old would have been like, obviously, what was that? That was 10 years ago now. Geez, like 11 years ago almost. Like that. Yeah. That is at peak sports watching time. Also, golf is huge because of what Tiger Woods had done. So like all those eyes are on this next superstar, this next guy. Oh my God, he won at 21. Tiger won at 21. Like, this guy's going to do it. He won last year. The second he teed off a golf ball, he was leading, and he didn't stop leading until he put it in the drink on 12 the next year.
You can't underestimate how much of a rising star Jordan Spieth was at the time.
Dude.
It was
and it went away like that.
Dude, the year before, he was like 2 shots away from winning the Grand Slam in 1 year. He won the Masters. He won the U.S. Open when DJ 3-putted, and then he barely lost by 1 out of a playoff at the Open. Remember that, where he didn't he needed like a birdie or whatever it was on the last hole, on the 18th hole at the old course, and then he had the thumbs up moment with Jason Day where he was in the final group at Whistling Straits like a month later. So he was going into that Masters having won almost 4 majors in a row.
Unbelievable.
Great pick, Trent.
It's a great pick. I'm glad you went negative. I was hoping, because there are some iconic negative moments in the history of the Masters tournament that you simply have to have on this draft list. All right. With the 6th overall pick in the Masters Moments draft, I'm going to stick with the theme of things that we witnessed. 2004, 72nd hole. He's made it his logo at this point.
Yeah.
At the time, Phil Mickelson had won 0 major championships despite being the top 1 or 2 best player in the world. He had been pro for a while. I believe he was like 32 or 33 years old. We just talked about Jordan Spieth almost going wire to wire to wire to wire at age 21 and 22. Phil had been such an accomplished amateur. He had won on the PGA Tour as an amateur, yet here he is like a decade later, had never won a major. It's all anybody talked about. He had all the close calls from Pinehurst to Shinnecock, all of it. He gets to the 72nd hole. He's got like a 12-footer down the hill, and that bad boy looked like it was going to lip out. It lips in. Phil jumps like 1 inch off the ground. It was in the modern era. It was in the Tiger era. It led to a flip-flop between Phil and Tiger putting green jackets on each other. It elevated him to, over the next couple of years, Phil was winning major championships all the way up until really Winged Foot kind of derailed him, but he won a couple Masters over that 2-year period. He won the PGA. It really just kind of elevated Phil to another level and is one of my favorite moments of all time in the Masters tournament.
Yeah. I mean, the jump does it. You know, all the context that you gave it, it was very important. Couldn't believe you hadn't won one yet. Always knocking on the door. And then for him to have that jump, it was, I rewatched the clip this morning, and it's a longer putt than I remember. And I was, again, very young at this time, but he plays that 18th hole great, but you see his approach shot and you're like, oh, that's a bit longer than I thought it was. And he just, it lips in and place goes crazy. And it was a great moment. I mean, really, it really was.
And then I get to go again, I believe, with the the 7th, overall pick in the draft. This is pure chalk. This is purely to get the commenters. I think they're going to love this one on my list. If we're going to do a public vote, I think this is going to get people going. It's the complete opposite of what Frankie's stance was on the way that he's going to approach this draft. I was not there for this shot, but 1935, gentlemen, the shot heard around the world.
Yeah, dude.
Gene Sarazen makes
I remember it, man.
2 on the 15th hole. Bobby Jones and like 20 other people were standing up around the green. That was the entire gallery at the time. Gene Sarazen, the shot heard around the world. I'll never forget it. 1935. That is my 3rd pick and the 7th overall pick in the draft.
Listen, I could sit here and talk you through all my emotions during that shot, but I don't think we have time. We simply don't have time. When I was, 30 or 20 years before my dad was even born, it's hard for me to explain my emotions at that time. So, all right, that's a good pick.
Yeah,
I'm going to go.
It was the Great Depression, got people going.
So it's me. Yeah. And I'm going to ask that probably every time.
Yeah.
It's you.
Okay. So I'm going to go with Bubba's shot on the 10th hole in 2012. Another one of those that you just know when you see it. Again, I watched all these clips this morning. It's really fun going back and watching them, just hearing the buildup of it. Because you think about that shot and where you were when you were watching it, but you forget all those things. So then when you watch it back and the commentators are adding all this context and just how much of a banana ball that shot was, and how, he's on the pine straw. I think he's got a pitching wedge. I could be wrong about that, but it's just such an impossible shot.
He doesn't have a pitching wedge. I have all the data because it was going to be my next pick.
Okay. So, and it's this guy who's
if you
trying
want
to
me
win
to
his
give
first
context
major.
to your pick, I can.
All right. He's trying to, he's trying to win his first Masters, his first major as well. So it's just a clip that every time I see it, I have to sit down and watch it and just remember how cool that was. He obviously goes on to win a second one a couple years later, but Bubba Watson on the 10th hole, iconic.
Gap wedge from 155 yards with a 40-yard hook.
Yeah.
When that thing landed on the green, remember that thing?
It said that on the range, Faldo had said on the range that he was hitting 170-yard wedges downwind, and that he had it in his bag. So you could hear in the commentary, they're like, "This is a lofted club." They couldn't believe it, but then Faldo throws in, I saw him hitting 170-yard wedges on the range. he says that he's got that in the bag this week. It's unbelievable. It's just he hits it to the freaking 15 feet. It's nuts.
Is an unreal shot.
Well,
Absolutely
so
unreal
now
shot.
I was going to kind of go with the lefty theme. I got 2 picks here, and they were both out of the woods. Great pick by Trent. I'm going Phil Mickelson's second shot on 13 in 2010 if we're going specific moments. Phil Mickelson hitting a 6-iron to 5 feet. That's a moment that, some guys go for it, some guys don't. He put his balls on the table, his nutsack on the table, said, I'm going for this thing. From the viewer standpoint, the tree is like within a foot of his follow through. I mean, obviously he had more room than it looked, but like to the viewer, you can't believe you can get a full swing on that thing, having it shoot out of the trees, hits it onto the green, doesn't make the eagle putt, but like keeps him moving forward in his pursuit of the Masters. I've got Phil Mickelson's 6-iron on the second shot on 13 in 2010.
Great pick. Great pick.
I would argue that might be the single most replayed golf swing in Masters history.
The sound, the audio on that, the audio is outrageous.
It's one of the first, and I could remember this wrong, but it feels like one of the first viral golf clips.
Yeah.
2010 is sort of in that range where you saw it everywhere. Bang, 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 bang. And it's an incredible shot.
But it's also for him to go on to win his 3rd Masters, which is like when you're watching this guy carve his way through the golf course after winning twice. He's a lefty. He's hitting all these ridiculous shots. And then you pull off that on your way to go win. That you're watching history, and he makes that shot. You know what I mean? Like that's why the moment is built up to the point where same with Tiger's chipping. Like, you can't believe they're actually doing the thing you're expecting them to do. Like Phil had already won twice. He's now in the woods, and you're like, oh, he's going to hit this on the green. I know he is. He's Phil Mickelson at the Masters. Of course he's going to do this at Augusta. And he does it. And he does it in such a way that like the announcers are like, how did he hit that shot? It's so cool to be able to look back and add that, if we're doing a moment's draft, it's like, what did it make you feel like when you saw it? And all that stuff leads into that. It's not just the shot. It's everything that led to that shot. It's the years prior. It's the wins prior. It's everything. So, man, Phil has quite the history at this place. It's such a sad fact that he will not be there this year. I don't know that we've talked about that yet, but he made an announcement saying that due to family, was it like health reasons or just family? What was it? What was the statement?
A family concern, I think, health concern. Maybe is what it said in the statement, which obviously deserves whatever privacy. So nobody really dug, I don't think, too much into that or knows exactly what's going on. But I believe he said family health concern. So it is a bummer. Him and Tiger, first time since 1994. I think I saw that Phil and Tiger will not be in the Masters.
Totally,
I think that's right.
Crazy. See, now I'm struggling because we're getting to the point now where this is my 4th pick already, right? So like I've got to really dig deep here. I've got a personal pick that I know won't be as strong as your guys' picks to come after mine, but like what I felt in this moment, and I know it's not at the top of everyone's list, but Tiger Woods on 16, almost acing that shot on Sunday in 2019, when we were watching that in the Barstool office and we were like gearing up for Tiger Woods to go win the Masters again. I was too young to experience the grind and the journey of Tiger Woods winning all those majors and winning all the Masters. I watched it, but like, just like, I don't know, like, is Frankie Boy going to know what's going on with the Islanders when he's 7 or 8 and 9 years old? Probably not. When he's 20, 30 years old, you're going to be dialed into sports more. You have a more understanding of what's going on in history. Watching Tiger do that in 2019 and watching that ball almost go in that hole.
That was the moment when I think we all were like, oh, he won now.
That's right.
Like,
that's right.
Know?
Dude, the hugs, like we were tearing up. Like it was Tiger magic that I would have given anything to see again prior to that happening, like almost lying through my teeth about being able to enjoy the Tiger stuff up until that moment, like I needed one like that. badly because of all the YouTube videos I get to go back and watch and all the moments I can act like I was a diehard fan for. This was the one he needed to give me, and he did. And he almost fucking jarred it, and it was the perfect shot, and he's chewing the gum, and he's watching it fucking hit the perfect slope, and it goes right down to the hole, and you're like, that's the guy that everyone talked about that knows this course better than everyone else, and he's beating everyone else because of what happened 4 holes ago on 12, and he's just going to lock it down now. He's going to hit the best shot of the day. So 2019, 16th hole, Tiger Woods near ace.
Great.
It's a great one. That's a great moment. I love that. I love that moment. I think it really kind of defined that from a golf shot perspective. I think that's like the main golf shot from that entire year.
Man. All right. You got me fired up about 2019, and I've got a couple ways I could go with it, but I'm going to go with one. And I mean, I'm probably going to get voted the worst here, but just because I can feel it, but I'm going to go with Tiger Woods standing in front of Francesco Molinari on the 6th hole. I think it was in 2019. And there's a screenshot of this, and it's incredible. You know, it's a moment that, you know, there's some people wouldn't even really know that it happened, or, you know, they talk about the shot on 16. They talk about things that happened on 12, whatever. But this was early on in that round, and you've got Molinari lined up to hit his shot. And you just know in his vision somewhere, there is a red and black figure. You probably can't make out the body. You probably can't make out what's going on, but he knows that that guy is there. There's so much aura. There's a lot of aura talk now with the kids. But this is a guy who's got it in a real way, and who has scared people for a couple of decades in the game of golf, who now has a chance to win a tournament that nobody thought he would ever win again. And the guy he is playing in the final group with sees him in his peripheral while he's trying to play the final round at the Masters. It's a fucking amazing moment, and the screenshot is hilarious. So it's one of my favorite moments, and it was a tone setter for that whole day, for everything, for part of what Frankie just described and what happened for the rest of the day. It like gives me chills seeing that screenshot, just how much of a fuck you attitude that guy actually has on a golf course.
Yeah, I like that you went non-chalk there for sure, especially because I think it's going to hurt you in the overall voting of the entire situation. But it is, you know, I do think like there are certain Masters. There's 2 real Masters in our lifetime of like being adult viewing and all that stick out. It's 2019, it's 2025. You got to have multiple moments. That's how good those years were. So I love like all the nuance, all the intricacies from it. I have no issues with that pick. I think it's a great, you might get a lot of sneaky love for that pick, to be honest with you, the more I think about it. So I like that pick. I like that pick a lot. I believe I'm up next. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Yep.
All right. 1, 2, 3. This is my 4th and 5th picks, and then it goes back to you guys. I'm going to go with another moment from 2025, last year, Rory McIlroy. I'm going to go with Rory collapsing on the green after he putted out to win the Masters tournament. I think that I've never seen a moment in my life where you could physically see the weight come off of someone's shoulders. You could tell. I watched the Prime documentary on Rory's Masters just the other day. He talks very specifically about that moment and that day, and he actually goes out of his way to say the birth of his daughter Poppy was like an amazing, joyous day. The day that he got married to his wife was an amazing, joyous day, and he's like, this was not a joyous moment, it was pure relief is what he says about that moment. And you could see it as a viewer, him walking around the green not knowing what to do with himself afterwards. I think one of the coolest moments ever that you guys just talked about, the hugs with Tiger Woods. They've both been taken off the board. Tiger walking around with Charlie through the ropes afterwards. Those moments of like just pure elation for Tiger was a little bit of relief as well. This moment for Rory was like the guy of our generation finally getting it done. The 6th player of all time to win the career Grand Slam. He had kind of messed up some moments that like it took away from a couple of the shots because you're like, oh my God, he's like going to hit these awesome shots and not get it done. That was the first time it was over. It was the exact moment it was over. You could feel it. You could see it. So I'm going Rory collapsing on the green after winning in a playoff at the 2025 Masters. And then boy, is this last one is a really, really, really tough decision. I'm caught between going more chalk. I've already kind of done the chalk pick. There's a couple obvious ones that stand out that you could get people going, but now I'm a little bit worried that they're gonna see through me when they're voting about this on those internet streets. So I'm gonna go a little. I'm gonna go probably a little bit unexpected. I'm gonna go with an incredibly popular player, and I think that this player was elevated to a completely different status in the game, largely because of this specific moment, and that is Fred Couples' ball staying out of the water on the 12th hole in 1992 when he won the Masters tournament. No, I wasn't like a present golf fan, but it did happen during our lifetime. There's television footage of it. Fred Couples, it is the crowning achievement of his career. He's always been the beloved guy. He's handsome. He's got maybe the most aesthetically pleasing golf swing of all time. But what really puts him up in that upper echelon is when you become a Masters champion. Everyone just earns that amazing amount of respect. Fred Couples hit the same shot that Francesco Molinari hit, that Jordan Spieth hit, that Brooks Koepka hit, that Ian Poulter hit, that Tony Finau hit. We've watched it over the last decade, just player after player after player hitting it into that bank and watching it kick into the water. Fred Couples hits it on the bank, and the golf gods said, not today.
Amazing.
And they let that bad boy sit up there. He gets up and down and wins the Masters tournament. He gets to go to the Champions Dinner forever. That Champions Dinner is infinitely better because Fred Couples is there. That handshake line after Tiger wins or Rory wins is infinitely better because Fred Couples has a green jacket. He's still able to play in the Masters tournament because he won the damn thing, and he's always up there as like a 70-year-old man these days. You always think he's got a chance to make the cut, and that's all because Fred Couples' ball stayed up in 1992. So that's my moment.
Good picks. Good
Thank you.
picks.
Thank you.
All right. This is my last pick, Ryan Richardson. Okay. So with my last pick, I'm going to break the rule that we established at the start of this, and I don't care because I know that no one else is going to pick a moment from it, and it is Zach Johnson winning the 2007 Masters.
Wow.
And, you know, he's had a couple of tumultuous years, obviously, with the Ryder Cup captaincy not going his way, and he's just had moments that have made people just honestly pay attention to Zach Johnson in a way that he probably doesn't love. But in 2007, when he won that Masters, I remember watching it. I was with my whole family. Zach Johnson is from Cedar Rapids. I am from Cedar Rapids. I was with my whole family. And I remember when he won, my uncle cried. My dad cried. It was a huge moment in the household. They named a street after him in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. It's Zach Johnson Drive. I've been on it. I've seen it. I've gone. I've paid homage to it. I've done the whole thing. This is a big moment for Cedar Rapids, for Iowa golf. The fact that a guy from Cedar Rapids won the Masters is fucking outrageous. So I'm taking that whole year. And it was a weird year if you go back and look at it. He finished +1. I think he's the only Masters winner in history to finish over par and win the golf tournament. Tiger Woods finished second, so it wasn't like he wasn't a factor. It was a weird year, brutal conditions.
Good context.
Zach Johnson won the 2007 Masters. It's got to go on my board. It has to. I don't think I can fly into CID if I don't put that on my board.
Great
So
point,
it's
Trent.
absolutely going on there.
I like it. I like
Okay.
it a lot. Well done, Trent. Well done.
Thanks.
So this is the last pick of the draft. I've had some troubles here coming up with the last pick just because I have a couple of moments that I'm not going to include in my top 5. Just because probably because the voting is gonna I'm trying to win the thing, so I'm gonna go with something a little bit more popular.
Oh, I
There's a
just
couple moments-
submarined my case.
Yeah, I mean, I've got one, and I'll just say it because it's not gonna be in my list. But John Rahm 4-putting the first hole when he won the Masters, his first hole of the tournament, 4 putts at double bogeys. I remember this is just a personal big moment for us because we had all placed a pretty good wager on John Rahm to win the Masters that year, I felt like. And we watched him. He was the favorite coming in. He was a world beater. And he 4-putted the first hole and double bogeyed it, and it sucked the air out of the room. We're like, this guy's done. What the hell just happened? The broadcast went silent. Everything went silent. And then he went on to birdie 7 holes, eagled a hole, shot a 65, never looked back, and won the Masters with the Seve crying and all of that stuff. The more I talk about it, the more I want to throw it in there in my top 5. I'm debating between that and just like Greg Norman's collapse in 96. I was alive for it, so I can kind of put it in. The thing about Greg Norman's collapse and Nick Faldo's win, he had what do you have, like a 5-stroke lead? Ended
6,
up
I think.
6-stroke lead going into Sunday and loses by 5, I think it was, to Faldo. It was an unbelievable collapse. And I think that has a really big moment in like current day golf with where Liv ended up being and just like the animosity between Greg Norman and a lot of people in the world of golf. And like, he's just not quite invited back to Augusta. And like, he's, he's not, there's just like that rift between Greg Norman, who ended up shepherding this new league towards the PGA Tour. And like, it's just, it may have all happened there in 96. Like, that's just, the Shark needed to win one. He wanted one bad. I'm putting that as my top moment just to kind of solidify my top 5. But I wanted the Rahm one in there. I wanted Scotty's chip in 2022 on hole 3. But we always talk about Scotty. He doesn't have those Tiger moments. Like, that's a great chip in, and then he just went on to methodically win the Masters.
He just beats people. He just beats them.
So it's not like it's not a voting moment, but the Rahm one is going to keep me up at night. There's so much to that, and we talked to him about it, and he's like, "That's what got me going." But lock me in for Greg Norman collapse, Nick Faldo win. It also it also lets Nick Faldo like sit in this tower that like physically and like emotionally of just like looking down upon people like Greg Norman because he was the one that was able to come up on top of him. So it's a big moment for sure.
The number one cutting room floor, for me that I feel like I kind of got bullied out of due to our little parameters we put on there is also related to Greg Norman, which is the Larry Mize chip in 1987. That's Greg Norman's got a birdie putt on 11. He's played the playoff pretty perfectly. Larry Mize is in no man's land over there on the right. He hits this chip that, if you watch it, it's probably going in the fucking water, man. And it hits the fucking flag and drops in. Larry Mize, a local guy, he's throwing his club. He's going fucking crazy. It cuts to Greg Norman standing there on the green like, you got to be fucking kidding me. He loses. Larry Mize wins. That one's going to, I think we're going to get some heat for that not being on there, but I do feel like I got bullied out of taking that.
No
pick.
Jack moments are crazy. I mean, but it is what it is. I want under my name only pick moments he was alive for.
Well, I was going to tell DJ to do in our lifetimes and then parentheses for the most part.
That's not fair to me. That wasn't a parameter until we started talking.
Under my name, I want only picked moments he was alive for.
So we get to like make a case now on the graphic for our own.
I think.
Own list.
I just want to add some context as to why I didn't pick like these. I mean, people can still disagree with my list. Like that's just my reasoning. You can add your reasoning underneath. You've got some text under there.
Normally, I'm fine with that too, but normally the less context, the more engagement is how that goes. I've got a couple.
I just want a little asterisk.
I've got a couple on the cutting room floor. If we're gonna do cutting room floor, I got Dave faking a phone call. I almost put that on the list because that was just like I actually wish I put that on there. I've got Hideki's caddy bowing in 2021. That was fucking
great
awesome.
One.
I've got the Rory triple bogey on 10 from the Cabins, which you go back and watch that, man. That is like he pulls one towards the Cabins where nobody hits him. He chips out, pulls another one left, hits a tree. It's the whole thing is like it's heartbreaking. He was, he wasn't fully Rory at that point. He hadn't won any majors, but like he had a real chance to win it, and then for it to take 14 years later to finally pay it off was like woof. And then I had, if we wanted to keep going negative, I had Molinari going in the water on 12 because that was a big moment for all of us.
I was on my list. That was on my list. That was the first moment of that event where everybody sat up and was like, "Oh, now wait a second, your Tiger's gonna fucking win this thing."
100%.
Yeah, I had that on my list too. I also had there are two other negatives that I wanted to go with, but neither one I was alive for, which is the signing an incorrect scorecard to lose the Masters tournament. And then 1989, Scott Hoke missed a 24-inch putt to win the Masters tournament on the 10th hole. So those are two negatives I kind of wanted to throw in there. But pretty good list.
Yeah, it's tough. It really is.
Yeah.
Once those big ones start to go off the board, you start to kind of reach for some. But what a tournament that has all these moments. You could probably go on. I mean, you get Kirk Minahan on here. His list would have been absolutely perfect and like so detailed and so many non-chalk moments that with his explanation of it, you'd be like, wow, that's a great pick.
Yeah. Jack. No, Jack is Lord of the Majors is gonna hate this list.
Lord of the Majors is still kicking. Lord of the Majors is still in our mentions.
Every once in a while, yeah.
Oh God! All right, boys, it's Masters Week. Very, very exciting stuff. I don't think anybody else has anything
we got to give a shout out to the Bob Does Sports guys. That LeBron James video,
all time,
is
incredible.
I watched that with such a proud feeling from where they've come from, knowing them from the ground up, especially Bob. I say it a million times, but like, you know, he's one of my best friend's cousins. So like, just to hear the stories of like the type of person that Robbie Berger has always been. He's always wanted to be in the entertainment industry. He's always wanted to get this done. He always wanted to have his own thing. And when we started with them, we just did a whole podcast with them, so I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but just to watch them grow and culminate to be the biggest thing. They're not even, it's not even YouTube golf anymore. It's pop. They're pop culture guys. They're a
100%.
part of like our pop culture, just like universe now. It's like Barstool work. Like they're like, you know, it's not even just YouTube golf anymore. It's something so much bigger than that. And all credit to them. I was so happy for them with that video. I just, you know, we got the Tiger one years ago when he hit off the knees, and like that moment and that feeling of when that video went live, knowing we got something that no one had been able to do, especially in our space, for them to get that with LeBron James on a golf course, as LeBron is the big, I like don't even know who you could compare LeBron to right now. He's still playing. He's still at the top of the league. He's still the guy. He never does anything like this. To get him out there on the golf course, it's absolutely outrageous. So shout out to Bob. Shout out to the whole entire team editing it like within 2 or 3 days. The Jet, his whole entire team. Better than I could have imagined. I knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. They told us.
Yeah.
I was so happy for them to see how it turned out. And it's like the first YouTube video I've sat down and watched the entire thing with a huge smile on my face.
It's awesome. And it is, dude, it's like a 5-hour interview video shoot with LeBron James, you know, like dude, if you just think about it that way. And that's insane. That's like, doesn't happen. That doesn't occur anywhere. It's so awesome. It's so cool how into it LeBron is. Like, dude, watching the whole thing is like, he's so happy to be there, you know? And it's like,
all their
watching
names, camera guys, and everything.
And he's like, then he chimed in on the Internet Invitational, which was so cool. And like, I saw people doing all the tweets of like, he knows who Melosi is. He watched him drive, or Fasoli is. He watched him drive. And then he's like, he weighed in on the Melosi situation. Incredible. I saw Melosi comment on it, being like, tough look for your boy. Hey, love you, LeBron. So like, all of that is just, he had a huge smile on his face the whole time, was one of my big takeaways. Like, he was jacked up to be out there with those boys. And they had what seemed like, and Frankie alluded to it, they were kind of telling us about this. They didn't want it to go public before it happens, which is kind of what we do, what everybody kind of does. But they were like, they went to a Lakers game, and they're getting all the love during the game and after the game. And then they filmed with them. I'm with you. It was awesome. Congrats to those boys on that video. I think that like transcends what we do in YouTube golf more than anything. So that was really, really, really cool.
It is so true. Like, LeBron doesn't sit down and do anything. Like, I remember, I remember one time when maybe they must have been playing the Pacers or something, and they popped into McAfee's show for a little bit, and all the clips go viral because they're like, "Holy shit, this guy's got opinions on things." Like, and of course that he does, but he's fucking LeBron James. So anything you say is gonna get every headline in the world because you hold so much weight and so much stature. So yeah, to get him out there for a full video, obviously shout out to those guys. I mean, an incredible accomplishment. We love those guys, and they're a fucking rocket ship, man.
They're so fun to be around. We've had such a good time with them, and I can't wait for our videos to come out that we just kind of shot with them. But it was cool to be there with them a few weeks ago, hearing them talk about how hyped up they were for the LeBron shoot. They were telling us a little bit of behind the scenes and how into it he is. So to see it all kind of come to fruition, very sick, man. Very cool
Joey
for like
D
the whole
clip
industry.
Is so funny of him not being able to speak when LeBron said, "How's Luca?" He said his name. He said his son's name on the driving range, and Joey D's face just goes, I don't want to. I mean, it was where you stationed almost like times a billion. I never seen someone's brain. He said no words, even though he spoke like 5 or 6 times. And he goes, I just want to shoot good so I don't disappoint him, and his arms flying away. And LeBron's like, oh, he just didn't see it coming at all. He didn't see LeBron saying his son's name at all. And I've never really seen anything like that. So, dude, these guys, Trent and Joey D, you get these moments when you're around these people that their brains just everyone's does, I guess. But just to have that on camera is phenomenal,
So
absolutely phenomenal. So, what a way to kick everything off into Masters week. I mean, golf's at an all-time high. You got LeBron James out there doing YouTube golf. We've got, a lot of storylines outside the game, but we still get the Masters. We get the Masters right now. What a time to be alive, boys.
Awesome show leading into the first show of Masters week. Great idea, Ryan Richardson, with the draft. That was insanely fun going through all those moments. KIZ's insight on actually being someone who's played in 8 Masters. Phenomenal addition. He's the fucking man. So, yeah, great show. Awesome week to be alive for the Masters tournament. I can't wait. It feels as wide open as I can remember. Obviously, Scotty's the favorite. But last year going in, it felt like it was going to be Rory's Masters, and it was. Scotty, the 2 years he won, it felt like it was going to be his Masters, and it was. We mentioned the DJ Masters and the COVID Masters. Like, DJ felt like the favorite going into that one. He won when John Rahm won. I know, he had the quad, the 4-putt double on the first hole, but like he was the favorite, I believe, going in that year, or one of the favorites. It felt like it was going to be his year. He had won a couple times, I believe. And so like this one just feels not like those. It feels a little bit wide open. It feels like you could go with the Hideki, you could go with the Cam Young, you could go with Ludwig. It might be another Scotty. Rory could repeat. You really just don't know. It feels like going into this one, which is fun. So we'll talk more about it, of course, on Thursday's show. But excellent edition. One of maybe the biggest week of the year in all of golf. So I'm jacked up, and let's enjoy. We'll talk on Thursday about being out there at the golf course at Augusta National. I can't wait to break all of that down. So stay tuned for Thursday's show. Thank you for listening. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.